Hello everybody! Welcome to my art studio. My name is Elena. I am mixed media artist. I have joined Milan Art Institute over a year ago. Milan Art Institute, a mastery program over a year ago. And I have been on my artistic journey for the last 5 years. Today we have a very exciting video that I prepared for you guys. It's about my 20 most favorite cannot live without art supplies that I curated over many years, and I tried and tested, and this is all available for you guys. So those type of art supplies, it was really hard to limit it to 20 because, like, let's say if I go to the deserted island, I can only take 20 art supplies, so those would be the must-have. Because art supplies, it's a gigantic topic. You can talk about it for hours and hours and hours, but I wanna just introduce you to my favorite top 20 that I really cannot live without. And I hope it's gonna be very useful for you because it took me years, a lot of time of testing, and a lot of money for some art supplies that I wouldn't buy it again, because art supplies are not cheap, you guys know that. And if I can save you time and avoid the financial pain, and you can gain something from my experience, I'm really happy to share. Okay, let's dive in. So number one, I will take with me to the deserted island mixed media pot. I don't have specific preference or what kind of pot you guys wanna have, but it could be drawing pot, it could be mixed media pot, any pot will do it. There are different kinds and sizes of the pots. Why would I take this sketch pot? I love to capture idea of inspiration, because inspiration is fleeting. It comes in, it pops in your head. If you don't write it down, if you don't make a sketch, it leaves you, and then you don't have sources for your paintings. And having a sketch pad next to you could be very useful. Number two would be the drawing set. By the way, all supplies, I will leave a link for the all supplies in the description for the video. And for the disclosure, I'm not sponsored by any of the companies' art supplies I'm using. So I buy my art supplies from Amazon, from Leaks, or from Michaels. Actually, a lot of them from Michaels, because you can buy certain things in bulk from Michaels. It will cost you quite cheaper. But this one is a drawing kit. It wasn't expensive. It was maybe like $25 on Amazon, and it has all necessities that you would need. It has pencils, it has color pencils, it has charcoals, it has erasers, it has different blending tools. I'm not going into details about that because this is just kind of self-explanatory. Little kids even would know that. Okay, so that was number two. Number three would be acrylic markers. And where do you have them? I love using acrylic markers, and Molotov is my favorite brand. I try different kind of markers and they act differently too. I love doing mark makings, and especially if it is metallic, so gold or silver, any kind of like very interesting standing against the background and shining textures. I love those things. So I would leave you guys a link for those ones in the description for the video. That was number three. Number four, I wouldn't leave without easel. So I guess I have to figure out how to take easel with me on the deserted island, because I only paint using easel. I've been taught that if you want to be a real artist, you have to do everything on easel, and it allows me to use my body freely. It allows me to step backwards without standing, from the chair, It allows me to flip the canvas and do anything I wanted to and transfer my energy into my paintings. Number 5 would be canvas. I love gallery wrap canvas, and this one is this specific artist Loft gallery wrap canvas I use for most of my paintings. So you could see it is an inch thick. It is done quite solidly and durably, and I usually get them, it's 100% cotton, and I get them at Michael's. When you get them as a bulk option, you can get really great discount. But if you're just starting artist and you don't want to invest into big canvases or it feels too intimidating, you could start with small canvases like that. What I wouldn't recommend to just, you know, do everything in your sketch pad or mixed media pad, because your transitioning from paper to canvas could be very intimidating, and a lot of artists could be really good on paper, working with the paper, but when they have to step in and start working these canvases, they have very hard time. So I like heavy texture that paint lays on it, and I like heavy textured canvases. But you could start with something like that. It's pretty inexpensive, and again, you can get a lot of them in bulk through Michael's site. Okay, we covered canvases. Now we're gonna cover glass palette. So this one I tried maybe like a year and a half ago, and I really liked my glass palette. What things about glass palette? So, you know, it's sitting in the shadow box right here. I will explain just in a moment. It is the glass palette. When you use the glass palette, the paint doesn't seep into, let's say, like it will do it with wood or plastic or this paper. So it keeps being moist by being on the glass, and it's just really pleasant feeling to mix the paint on the glass palette. Once you try it, you wouldn't go back. I think it was like $39 on Amazon. I will leave a link in the description for the video. But if you notice it, it's sitting in the box, and the box is called shadow box. What's cool about the shadow box, once you don't paint, whether you use acrylics or oils, you can put a wet napkin there, leave the box, and it could be still fresh for quite a few hours. So in few hours, sometimes even for a couple of days, you come back and open the shadow box and start working. So I find it very easy, because preparing paints to work with, for some reason, it is the most unpleasant process for me to do. Okay, we covered the shadow box. So number 8 would be my brushes. I love big brushes, and I had them somewhere right here. Okay. So I love this wide, I think it's a couple of inches or an inch and a half filbert. So basically it's a flat brush that has round edge, and I always start my paintings with this large filbert brush. All early stages in large black brushes. I love working with large brushes because it just feels so free. And once I go deeper in the stages of the painting, I start going down with the brushes. So I use smaller and smaller, and the last stages of the painting I would be using detail brushes, like certain type of eyes, for example, if you want to do some touch-ups in your eyes, and so on and so forth. So we covered the brushes. Now we're gonna go to palette knives. I love using palette knives, especially in acrylics. I mean in oils too, but in acrylics I love them the most, because working with palette knives helps you to get loose and just let the control go and trust the painting process. And miraculously enough, the process actually, once you let go, the painting is just turns out pretty good, because you're not trying to control it. You are just being a medium for the divine flowing through you, and you transfer it on the canvas. So I have quite a few palette knives here, and it is a preference of, I will do another video on how you can use different palette knives, because for different type of textures and different type of objects, especially when it comes to flowers or landscaping. Palette knives are really fun and great technique, and they create very natural feeling in landscaping. Okay, so we covered the palette knives. Next on my list is acrylic inks. I love working using acrylic inks in underpaintings, so early stages of the painting, when it's all kind of loose and wet, the canvas is wet, I would do some acrylics, especially fluorescent ones. Like this one by Golden is the fluorescent acrylic ink. And again, what it creates certain glow, it creates certain type of textures, and it's quite uncontrollable. And as underpainting, it creates really beautiful elements, as long as you let it be. Okay, done with the inks. Now we're gonna go to acrylic paints. Acrylic paints number 11. They are my acrylic paints. I love using acrylic paints by Golden. And I have to admit, they're quite more expensive than you will take a basic brand like Liquitex. But the colors are just so much more vibrant, and the colors the same as you will have colors in oils, so they really correspond to each other. When you work with basic grade acrylics, you don't get the vibrancy. It looks vibrant before it dries out. Once it dries out, you just don't want to even look at it. But for the student grade, you totally could use basic acrylics just at the early stages, or if you want to warm up before you move into your professional painting. So that's Golden by Acrylics by Golden. So we covered acrylic paint. Now I love using spray paint as the underpainting too, because it creates a lot of beautiful textures. And I will be using, this is spray paint by Montana. This one is gold, and this one is Montana. No, they're both Montana acrylic spray paint. But this one is chrome, so it's like really shiny. I like that overlaying with some like dark dioxide purple color. It creates beautiful textures that I could use stencils for. So this is one example of stencils. There are so many different stencils variety that you guys could use anything and try and play with different types of stencils. But I'm gonna demonstrate you the acrylic spray paint with stencils techniques that I implemented in one of my paintings, and you guys would really appreciate how fun those textures are. Okay, so if you see the background right here, I used stencils and acrylic spray paint, and then when I painted everything with oil, I used transparent oil, so it still shows all the very fun and interesting textures. And the same right here. Okay. So we covered stencils, acrylics. Now number 14 going to be oils. My favorite oils are going to be by Gumby. So Oil's expensive product, but the cool thing about oils, they don't fade in color. They're very vibrant, they're very alive, and they make a painting durable. So let's say if somebody buys your painting that was finished in oils hundreds of years from now, it still would look pretty decent, comparing to if somebody buys it in acrylics and it just cracks in maybe, I don't know, 50 years or maybe less even, right? And these oils, it is an expensive investment at the beginning, but the cool thing about oils, they really stretch. So once you invest in some colors, it lasts you for a long time, because you are going to be using your oils, this oil medium, and this one is Galkit. So number 15 is Galkit. So what Galkit creates, so Galkit helps you to dilute the oils so they are more spreadable on your canvas, and it creates, and it's thinner, not like just right straight out of the tube. Also, it creates jewel-like tone in your oil painting. So you could use Galkit or Galkit Light. Galkit Light will be less viscosity comparing to Galkit. I love both of them, but I mostly use Galkit. And of course, since we talk about oil paint, we have to clean our brushes in mineral spirits. So I love Gamsol by Gambling. This is a really good odorless mineral spirit that you could clean your brushes this. So that would be number 16. Oh no, number 17. Then we're going to the dry pigment. Number 18 is dry pigment. I love using dry pigment as a final touch in my paintings, and I have a lot of paintings, and I would show you, but the camera just wouldn't grab the texture, but I will show you anyway. It has dry pigment in it, so let's say I wanted to create a feeling of stars or the universe. So you could see right there, those are stars. And this is one is actually acrylic pigment. But if I use for oils, this is what I've done with oils. They were in the dry jars. This is the one I used for oils. I'm going to show you. It is by Arteza. Again, I will leave the link for it in the description below. And it has 54 different colors. And this is what they look like, those dry pigments. And you will have them like any possible colors you would like to have. Like this one is golden, for example. And it's like very, very, very fine golden mist in all kinds of different colors. And once you use the dry pigment, you have to spray it on top just to fix it, so it stays connected to your painting. Okay. There is something very important and very cheap but very important I forgot to mention about. Number 19 would be the spray bottle. Spray bottle is really great when you work with acrylics or acrylic inks for the early stages of your painting. Okay. And number 20, that will be worker fixable. Worker fixable that I would be using, workable fixable for when I do sketch on the canvas. In order for the charcoal or paint not leak once it go into acrylics, I will spray this workable fixative, and it will protect the pencil or the charcoal from bleeding once I start doing wet acrylic stages. So those guys were my 20 the most favorite and must-have art supplies that I found out are most beneficial for me through the years. And I hope this is very helpful information for you guys too. So let me now put it in your chat. If you have any questions, let me know. I will be happy to answer all of your questions. And also don't forget to like my video and subscribe to my channel. And I hope I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.